So welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's Sunday morning. It's Celtic versus St Johnstone at McDermott Park. 12 o'clock kick-off. Team news reaction with myself, Ryan Clifford, and Mr. Alan Stirling. Alan, good to be back on, mate. Good to see you smiling, shall I say, a wee tiny bit. That it's Sunday and Celtic are back playing, mate. How are you? The sun is shining. 2 wins to go, mate, to our champions, and hopefully we kick it off today.
Good morning. Relatively well. Good to be back in the podcast. There's kind of circumstances, but the reserves are back in the bench and the dream team's back out on Sunday. Beautiful Sunday night, shall we say. So, daddies are back out. And I look forward to the day. Hope it is a very beautiful Sunday. Obviously, we singing Sunshine on Leaf yesterday and having a good time about the so-called opposition dropping points. It means that 2 wins away could be the league championship tied up. So yeah, hopefully we've got that incentive today. We've got just ticking boxes, but I think away to St Johnstone, you get mixed up with him. Away to St Johnstone, it's never going to be massively easy. There has been a few times that it's been quite difficult, maybe last minute winners, etc. So, let's tick that box today. Hopefully, with a good performance, and we can kind of march on towards our league title that we're going to claim.
Just good morning to a few people. Ryan, John Boy Graham, and a good man Plunge says champions ole ole. Morning Plunge, hope you're well. Remember, it's getting warmer. Plunge, get the cold beans heated up, mate. Hope you're very well. Alan, that's it. We were singing Sunshine on Leaf, and I think we were doing that today because it is sunshine, but not on Leaf, it's in Glasgow. Like Joe Hart's ball patch did say there, they've scored 9 goals against us, and we've seen that yesterday. So I think obviously when we were watching that yesterday, you'll be very disappointed, derby game or no, Alan, if we don't go to Ibrox and win, because if we do go to 16 or 19 points, whatever it is, until that game, you'd like to go and run the mare, and obviously with Celtic fans here as well, mate, you'd like to think you a bit of a party atmosphere as well. But obviously we'll touch on that near the time. But obviously, like you say, mate, we're 2 wins away until champions. If we win today, it means one next weekend. It could be a really good atmosphere at Celtic Park, mate. What you expect to the team lineup? Do you think any changes? The Rocks, will he play again? Well, Maida obviously will probably continue up front. Do you think Yang might come in? What's your thoughts on the early team news before we get the lineup, mate?
I think the only question mark for me personally would be Narowski and Trusty. Obviously, Trusty's fully returned now, so has Narowski done anything massively wrong? Possibly not. For me, I think that Trusty will come back in, but I still think Narowski's got a part to play now. I think he's probably showed Brendan that he is up to that level. And Brendan's been pretty complimentary about him over the last couple of games. You've got Liam Scales is still out as well, isn't he? He's back training, but I don't think he can make the squad yet. So I expect it will be pretty similar. I think you're looking at the front three. I know you're talking about Yang. I think it will stay the same. I think you're looking at Kuhn, Jota and Maida. We've spoken about a number of times how much Ida has to do more. He's not providing. The way he's playing now, he's as much use as a fart in a speedboat. So you're looking at he has to kind of step up. So for me, I think it would be relatively the same kind of starting 11, apart from maybe Trusty and for Narowski. So my prediction would be you'd be looking at Sinisalo with Schmeichel out. I think it will be Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Jeffrey Schlupp. Then it'll be Cal McGregor, Engels, Hitati, Jota, Kuhn and Dyson Maida. What about yourself? What do you think?
So good morning to JP. Hope you're well, big man. Hope your Sunday's been good, mate, so far. I don't think there many changes, Alan, if any. I think Maeda's got to continue in his vein of form. He also did say that if he gets a hat trick, so get more responsibly about getting money on Maeda. He's going to pay the Curries tonight. But I think Jota's going to continue as well. I thought he played well against Hearts as well. I can see the case for Yang over Kuhn, just for a bit of freshness. Nerowski, I think, is going to continue because he's done well the last two games. The only way we're going to see how good he really is if he continues to get game time. You can't really take him out after two games, especially a derby game. He's not played in a long time. Comes in and plays probably our best performance, in my opinion, Alan, in the day defensively. He was decent against Hearts. Don't get me wrong. There was one or two wee fresh air kicks. Last thing that can happen. Don't know if it's confidence or he was just trying to show how good he is. But apart from that, he won everything in the air. He likes to tackle. He's got a bit of nastiness about him. I'm not saying he's Maldini. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not saying he's better than Trusty. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying on form, it's just unfortunate Trusty's had to come out the team due to circumstances. Obviously, maybe family. I think it's his baby or stuff like that. I think was his missus having a kid or it was a calf issue. There's something involved anyway, injury-wise as well. And Nerowski's come in and took a chance. Skills in it as well. So I don't see any reason why Nerowski wouldn't continue in the team, mate.
I would say it's 50-50. That's how I think that's the question mark over the first 11 personally for me. I don't think Nerowski's done anything kind of wrong. He's come in, he's filled that gap. He's been reasonably good. But personally for me, I think that Brendan probably sees his back, his centre half pairing as Carter Vickers and Trusty. As I say, I still think Nerowski looks as if I think he should be in the pecking order ahead of Skills now. I would say that. But I think Brendan, if Trusty's fully fit, I think he's probably going to look at that centre half pairing that he probably believes in most, that he sees as his starting centre back pairing, and Trusty and Carter Vickers. But as I say, I'm 50-50 with that because to kind of drop Nerowski after two games where he's done relatively well, I think it could be a bit harsh. So I wouldn't be surprised either way, basically, with that position, if it's going to be Nerowski or Trusty. It'll be interesting to see in the next few minutes. But no matter what, it's given competition as well. It's if Nerowski's coming in and he's playing relatively well, it means that Trusty has to be kind of on his game. Has to kind of step up and make sure, and Carter Vickers to that fact. He has to step up and make sure that he's performing kind of week in, week out if he comes into the team. So, yeah, competition's always great for the squad and the club. So, yeah, it's nice to see kind of Nerowski get a couple of games. Whether he's going to start this game or not, I'd probably expect him to get some kind of minutes. I think he'd probably come on if it is Trusty that starts and vice versa. If Nerowski starts, I think you'll probably see Trusty coming on later on in the game.
Aye, well, I personally do feel that Nerowski's shown enough the last two games. I've kind of wanted to always give him a chance, Alan, because obviously he was signed for good money. For what I've seen in terms of the wee snippets in before he signed, he looked all right. He played in a decent League of Warsaw team at the time. Well, I know you take the Polish standard to a degree. It's up to how you feel. I think they finished second in the season that year, so defensively they must have been all right to finish second. So I think he played a lot that season as well. So I think he's played with Poland 21s, I'm sure as well. They were talking about him. If he moved to Celtic, that might be his move into the Polish team. So obviously the Polish kind of media side rated him pretty highly to come to Celtic, paid decent money for him. Well, I know it's been injury issues, fitness issues, maybe not having to get to the tempo yet, the intensity, who knows, but he's shown a decent level the last two games to say that he can at least play as if you're third or fourth choice in the league. Well, I know he can play in Europe, remains to be seen. I as yet probably no. I think the two, like you say, Aaron, it probably is Trusty and Carter Vickers. But what's your thoughts on even if Nerowski does play well at the end of the season and you've still got Liam Scales? Right now, can we say that Liam Scales and Nerowski are going to make you better in Europe? Possible, what we've seen so far? Probably no. So you might need to then sign at least another top centre back. Well, I know they're going to come in and challenge Vickers and Trusty. who knows? But I think we need the option because we need to try and obviously get through the playoff. That's the most important thing. It's a priority. But you get through that, I think you'll see the club then spending a bit of money because I think the next protocol is not just to progress in this now. It's just let's just finish like 18th and we'll just try and get to the playoff now and it's try and get to the last like, if we can. That's always a dream in it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. We're saying that the competition in Glasgow, that there's a lot of people saying they're rotten. But the fact of the matter is that they've scored 9 goals against us in the last 3 games. So I think Brendan will be looking at the defence. I think on their day they're all kind of decent when you look at Wales, Scales, Narovski, Trusty. But I think Brendan will be looking. We always say that Carter Vickers is that guy that's always in the defence. I think we're probably looking at somebody that's up to that level. You want as Trusty, as Narovski, as Scales up to Carter Vickers level. No, for me. I think if we've got ambitions to kind of moving forward with domestic domination and try to kind of progress in terms of kind of Champions League or European format, I think that Brendan would most likely like somebody in that's as strong and kind of dominating and as mostly reliable as Carter Vickers is. So, we can only see what Narovski's like until the end of the season. I think Trusty's you've seen it in patches. You've seen him playing well, and then you've seen him being pushed off the ball far too easily. I think the jury might still be out. I think he's a decent player. He's definitely not the worst. He's decent enough. He's done relatively well for us, but is he at that level that we're needing if we're going to kind of push on towards kind of Champions League progression, etc. I think you might be looking for an improvement. I think you might be right because we simply can't ignore the kind of 9 goals conceded against kind of our rivals in the last 3 games. And just as we're speaking there, we've got team news out if I just read it out to you. Sarasalo, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Schlupp, McGregor, Engels, Hitati, Jota, Kuhn and Maida. So as usual, the daddy was spot on. And we've got on the bench Bain, Taylor, Ida, Yang, McCowan, Narovski, Bernardo, Forrest and Tony.
Try please put it in the comments just for anybody who's not heard that there. That is the team today. I would say I can understand the Thursday thing, Alan, because obviously he's had an injury. Obviously, I think as well, maybe family, maybe he's obviously newlywed as well. But if I'm Narovski, again, we don't know what they've been told, Alan, behind the scenes. So we don't know if he's been told, listen, you've had 2 hard games, you'll play the next game, you'll play this and run in. We don't know what he's been told. But if I'm Narovski, I'd be pretty annoyed personally because I played well the last 2 games, 2 decent games in Scotland compared to the competition. Maybe it is fitness issues, who knows? Maybe can he play 3 games in a row? I don't know. I'm only trying to think the reasons why he's maybe not playing, or maybe Ben just thinks I need to play my best team, and that's Austin Trusty.
Yeah, no, I think. Well, it tells you right away the amount of game time that Narovski's had the whole season. That Brendan's not exactly been a massive fan of him. He believes that Trusty is the strongest along with Carter Vickers. So that's why I believe that Trusty would come back in. It's no slight on Narovski. I think he's come in and done a relatively decent job. And I think we're doing that as well. He's probably went up in Brendan's estimation as well. I think you might see some more game time in regards to Mike Narovski. As I said earlier, I think he's maybe went up in the pecking order with regards to Liam Scales. I think he might have jumped into kind of 3rd place in front of Liam Scales. So yeah, no, it's a strong lineup. I think Brendan will be looking at the next 2 games, and I know it's 1 game at a time, but you look at the next 2 games and you win them, and we win the league, and then it's a case you can look at the last 5 games. Obviously, we want to win them all, especially that certain one at the other side of Glasgow. You're expecting to win. But it gives a wee bit of time for maybe some squad rotation. See what some players have got, give them a wee bit of game time, whether that is kind of Yang or even some of the youngsters like Bonner, etc. So, aye, it'll be interesting to see, but I think at the top of kind of Brendan's list just now it is just to kind of tick one game off at a time. And if we make the next two games ticks, then we're Scottish League champions. So for me, I think we said a number of weeks ago that it's imperative that we play our strongest team kind of week in, week out, because we most of the time we're only playing kind of one game a week after the elimination for the Champions League. I think the players we're able to kind of play our strongest 11 because we're not playing excessive amounts of football. So for me, until that week's won, and with the Scottish Cup games, I think that probably that starting 11 today, I'd say that's our strongest 11 available that we've got.
Aye, no, I think again it's maybe just because I want to see the Rossi do well. Obviously, the money we spent. He's looked okay. He's not looked a superstar, but the only way he's going to get better is by playing football, and that's what Sinisalo says in his presser. He says it's all right training, but you've got. I think Jota says as well. A lot of players say it as well. I watched a podcast with Casper. He said it as well. You can train all you want, but you need to play football. That's the way you'll really progress. I'll put this to yourself, Alan, and then I'll answer it after you. MT Selk says, no lessons learned by Rodgers. I'd have dropped Kuhn and CCV and AJ, all been poor for me in decent form. Why have a squad if poor performances are rewarded with starts?
I don't. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't necessarily agree. I think that you looked at the Rangers game. I think most of the players were really poor. And you look at Carter Vickers and Johnston and Coonan, I think they kind of stood out. But for me, kind of form's temporary, but class is permanent. When you look at these players, when you look at the kind of replacements that you can bring in, is Yang anywhere near the quality level of Nicholas Kuhn? No, for me. So if Nicholas Kuhn comes out today and shows what he's capable of, then that's why Brendan's putting these players. And for me, I can see the argument against it with MT Celts. That's totally understandable. But for me, I think you play the strongest quality you've got, because you know these guys are capable than the guys that you're bringing in. After they're showing that for a number of weeks, then maybe it's time that they take a kind of a game or two out, possibly. But I don't think it's at that level yet. I think when you're looking at Alistair Johnston as well, did you bring in Tony Ralston instead of Alistair Johnston? No, for me. I would, as much respect I've got for Tony Ralston, I don't think he's anywhere near the same level as Alistair Johnston's got. And with Carter Vickers, as we were talking about earlier, I think that he's probably the best defender in the league when he's playing well. Yes, there has been a couple of times this season that he's maybe been kind of subject to a wee mistake or such, but I think when he's on his game, he's by far the best defender in the country. So for me, everybody looks at things differently, but for me, I go with the quality wise, and you're hoping that they come out and kind of show what they're capable of instead of maybe what they've shown the last couple of games.
No, I can, again, as a squad game, so I can understand what MT Celts is saying there. I definitely agree. In terms of the squad, the bench is probably, again, it's really strong. So you've got guys like Bernardo can come on. Yang's been okay off the bench recently. He's been pretty decent off the bench, so he can come on and maybe do something. You've still got Eder there, who's a £9 million striker on the bench. You've still got McKibben. You've got Taylor. Nerofsky, so the bench is decent, if very decent actually. If we need to make changes in it, and again, that's just about the full team fully fit now. James Forrest as well, so
Bernardo.
that's what I mean. So the bench is pretty strong if we need to make any changes. But I can maybe see the thinking that Rodgers is just want to play his strongest team for the next two games, get it out of the line, and then he can maybe experiment with the team. I.e., he spoke about Johnny Kenny. He says his finishing's brilliant. But yeah, he's not even getting any minutes. That's similar when Derek Riordan was here. Gordon Strachan says he was the best finisher at the club, but didn't play him. whatever reason why that, I know there's listening, if you listen to Google and you listen to other things, there's other things involved in maybe why that didn't happen. But Derek Arden was a really, really good player, and he could have been, if in my opinion, a brilliant player with Celtic if he continued to play with Celtic every week, but didn't happen. Johnny Kenny, do we think he's going to play with Celtic every week? Probably no, but he's been kept for a reason, obviously, but either we couldn't get a striker in, or the manager's seen enough to think that he could be the third choice. But I think you might see him a bit more, Alan, once the league's probably wrapped up, hopefully next week. You might see him play a few games off the bench. You might see him start the odd game. Obviously, there'll still be competition for places for the semi-final and the final. You still need to play your best team to go and try and get this treble over the line if we can. But you might see guys like Johnny Kenny, like you mentioned, Jude Bonner, guys like that, for the B team might be on the bench when the league's finished, hopefully next week. And it gives him a bit of experience as well. But that's maybe the only thing I can think, Alan, is maybe that's when they'll maybe get a bit of game time.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we wrap up the league as well, I think you'll maybe see Brendan pushing for James Forrest to get that elusive goal as well. I think that the last 16, 15 years or something he scored. Is it James Forrest? Sure. So
I
last
think
number.
I think he's got to score to make every season.
Aye, so I think you might see a bit more of James Forrest. But the most important thing is that we get these two games won. We can see the finishing line now. We can see. So all we need to do now is win today, and then we're looking at next week. So it's well achievable. I think we've got the quality, we've got the squad depth there that we should be able to win the next two games. We can't take it for granted. Can't be complacent, but we need to make sure that we win these next two games, and then that to win the league before the split, that's an achievement. But I think we probably looking at the last 5 games, and there will be kind of chances for the likes of Yang. I think especially. I think that as much as I've not seen the quality wise, as you look at with kind of the likes of Jota, Maida, and Kuhl, I think Brendan might like to see a wee bit more of him. I think he is young. He probably needs to do it a lot more consistently. I'm trying to be as open-minded as possible. I'm not seeing him anywhere near the level he kind of could and Jota at present, but there's no harm in kind of letting them kind of giving them a proper chance in a couple of the games if we've already kind of won the league. So and you're looking at kind of midfield with I'd probably like to see a wee bit more of Bernardo coming in once we've kind of won the league. I think Bernardo, he obviously got that injury, but he is a very promising young player. Looks as if he's got a lot of quality, and I think depending on who's still there in the midfield next year, I think Bernardo might have quite a big part to play. I think that he's maybe coming to that age, he's starting to kind of mature more. When you're looking at the rest of the season, I would like to see a little bit more of Paulo Bernardo, and let's see how much he's kind of improved as well.
But Bernardo for me, and obviously I spoke about him before we signed him, and I thought the money that we paid for him was a bargain in my opinion. I think he's got a lot of, I think he's got a pretty high ceiling to be fair. At Celtic, I think, but I think the only way that that you'll see that is if how much he plays. I think he seems the sort of player that might need to play a lot to progress a lot. But I think he's done really well since he came here. When he came, he was a wee bit kind of rough around the edges. He wasn't. We weren't really sure about him, but after that season, I was really impressed with him as the season went on. I like him. I really do. I think the money we paid for him is nothing compared to some of the money we've spent on players in the past, and they've came and not done really well. So I think he's got a lot of scope to improve. Well, I know he's going to get to the heights that I think he can get to. Remains to be seen. James Forrest, I seen Ryan T said for me next penalty. Maybe one of the ones at the end of the season. Ref just stopped to be Forrest taps it in. But I think James eventually might get his goal. I think the team might. I think they might try everything they can to get him that goal when he's on the park. Because I think the team seems like that. Like a really good kind of bunch of players like that, and they all want to set records straight and things like that. So
He'll probably score before he die anyway.
But again, he might get me a game time, Alan, as well in the next few weeks as well. Again, I know Rodgers says obviously he knows his attributes, he knows what he can do, and he wants to show what he can do. He's on the park, and listen, I think he's a will improve. Well, no, he's still got to prove to me that he can be the main man. And like I says, he could do that. The more games he plays, it's up to him to obviously do that. But when he's got Maeda in front of him, I think it's going to be hard. If Maeda keeps this reign of form, you just think he's going to score every game. And that was the way Kyogo and Giakoumakis were light on the range. You just thought they were going to score every game, especially Giakoumakis. I think even I don't know how many games I know he went, but he went
up to the competition. But that's what they were kind of fighting off on each other.
But Giakoumakis, I don't. You might know, mate. You're pretty good with your stats, but I don't know how many games in a row he went. But I'm sure he went a few games in a row, scoring every game. Giakoumakis. And
it was
a few games he was coming on off the bench. Within like 2 or 3 touches, he was scoring.
His first season, he missed half a season. They still finished with 14 goals. I'm sure he was the top goal scorer with one. He was getting a lot
of stick as well. And I loved him. I think he was
efficient.
He was efficient. Hated them as well. He came out and basically says we'll win the league and we're the best team, and we've not really got that but as I think now, again, I think they're too nice. But again, we can touch on that as we go along next season as well. But I think that's one thing we do need to put into the team. It's not just add technical quality. I think we do need to add that kind of nastiness, the dark arts. That I don't think we've got much of that in the team. I think we're all too nice and technical. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I just think in some capacities we do need a bit of bite, especially in Europe. But overall, mate, what's your thoughts of the game, the team lineup, and obviously any predictions or do you think Maeda will get his hat-trick?
I don't know. I just seen somebody saying we'll be lucky to get 5 million for Hatate.
I don't agree with that.
We can call plum tomatoes or something. Hatate's unbelievable. I'm just. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but for me, Hatate's one of the best players, one of the best midfielders I've seen in my lifetime at Celtic. He is inconsistent, but that's the risk that he plays with. He's that player that kind of plays the risky pass that sometimes doesn't come off and makes him look kind of stupid. But when that pass comes off, when that shot comes off, when that turn of play comes off, absolutely incredible. I can see that he might want to move on in the summer. I think that'll be a very big gap for Celtic to fill because he is kind of instrumental a lot of the time to the way we play. See what happens. Prediction, the way we play. I don't think it'll be an easy game, but I think that with us being able to see with the finish line with the league title today, I think that we might get a better performance today. I'm hoping for that. I think that we should be able to put everything together today. St Johnstone, they're usually kind of difficult away from home, so I'm not going to take it for granted. I put our team together, so obviously we play relatively well. I think it should be three points, and I'm going to go the same as last week. I think it'll be a 3-0 victory at Celtic. But will Maeda get a hat-trick? He'll maybe get 1 or 2, I think. I hope he does get a hat-trick, but I'll maybe say that Maeda will get 1 or 2. I've got a funny feeling that Jota might score today, so we'll see what happens. As long as we get the 3 points right.
Any betting people out there, Alan's just told you the predictions, so go and get it on. Mr. Calvin. I think after them obviously dropping points yesterday, I think it's a massive kind of, how do I say it? It's just another incentive for you to then go and extend the lead as well, and it kind of puts a party atmosphere as well leading up to Kilmarnock as well, because I think the fans will be in total party mood today, because we know just about the league's just about over the line. You still need to get it over the line. It's still until everything's finished. You can't celebrate until everything's finished. So I'd like to think we go and put a performance out, Alan, like your threes and your fours. But listen, it's all about getting victories. You don't want to be too greedy. Just win the game, and that's the main thing. But I think as well, I'd like to get the game done as possible and get people off the bench, like you said, your Bernardos, your Yangs, Edas, McKibbins, etc. Get them on the park as well and get them game time. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you, mate. I think it'll be a pretty comfortable victory. If you get an early goal, then hopefully the floodgates will open and we'll go and put on a performance. But again, I don't want to be too overconfident because St Johnstone are in a relegation battle. They'll want the points as well. Who knows? It could be a wee surprise in the bargain for them. They could turn up and play a game of their life. Who knows? Football's a crazy game. Hopefully on your part it doesn't happen. But again, mate, we'll see obviously in the next hour or so. Kick off 12 o'clock. I think it's on Sky as well. So look forward to the game. Hopefully we'll be talking obviously tomorrow and during the week with a victory and leading up to a party atmosphere, hopefully, at Celtic Park against Kilmarnock. But been good to have you on again, Alan. Nice wee chat. Thanks to the commenters and the viewers. Thanks a lot. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring to you the content. Hopefully, the next few months we'll have more guests as well. Again, it's just obviously availability and other things as well. But everything you do for us, you like, comment, subscribe. It helps us get content out to you. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all your social media platforms. Please follow us on them for any updates. And hopefully we'll be updating some 3 points good performance. But until then, Alan, hail, take care. And I'll see you very soon, mate. Hail.